The other big issue hotly being debated here in Davos is governance deficit and a wave of corruption scandals that have battered the image of the UPA government. Breaking his silence for the first time after the 2G scam, telecom czar Sunil Mittal said that he was hoping that under the new telecom minister, the industry will see a sustainable policy after a very long tussle. It's a pleasure to have with me Mr. Sunil Bharti Mittal. Mr. Mittal, it's great to see the India Inclusive campaign splashed all over here in Davos, but there are clear worries about governance deficit, policy paralysis. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, I'm a big admirer of our Prime Minister. I personally believe we are here to further reinforce India's story, the growth story that we are all witnessing. We want the world to come and engage with India, invest, bring your technologies, use India as a low-cost, high-efficient market, sell your products there, export from India. The problems that we have in India are global problems. Today there are food inflation across the globe. It's not just India. And we have heard our Prime Minister, our Finance Minister, everybody is engaged with this problem.
Right.
Nobody knows it better than the current day government. They know there's a problem, and I'm sure they will deal with it.
And the telecom sector in particular, it's a sector that you represent, Mr. Mittal. We've seen that the sector has been under tremendous scrutiny over the last couple of months. And obviously people are waiting to see some urgent action in terms of reversing what we've really seen in this sector.
Well, I think we have a fine telecom minister who's looking after the issues now. He's been there for a very short period of time, but he's made very strong commitment to deliver a new national telecom policy. He's got a 100-day plan. I think let him pull together all the pieces, all the differing views, all the issues that face this industry. I think one comment that he made was very good. While we will ensure that there is a level playing field, we want to ensure that this industry grows and serves the country. So I'm very hopeful that we will see at the end of this long tussle that we have in telecom, a long-term sustainable telecom policy.
You're really the face of India's telecom sector, and are you also facing some uncomfortable questions from your global counterparts as you network with them here on what has really happened back home?
No, I think people are celebrating India, and I think we...
And you're not worried about the string of scams we've seen?
No, I mean, I think that's what I'm saying. We in India are trying to talk about more about our problems than the world is. The world is seeing India as a great place to do business, great place to come and invest, and I think that's what we need to celebrate. And my message to all of you and to all of us would be in India, let us celebrate our successes. There are a lot of good things happening in India. Let's showcase those good things. Yes, there are problems, and those problems will need to be dealt with.
And if you talk about the problems, last question before we let you go, what according to you would be the top 3 problems that India is facing right now, the impediments to growth?
Well, I think we need the last burst of reforms, which are now under debate. Some FDI issues. We are looking at some pressure which comes from the area of environment that needs to be dealt with. The good news here is the world, as it engages with India, recognizes that India has to have a growth at 9 or 10% to serve its people who have to come out of the poverty and come into the mainstream. India will need to grow, and for growth we will need to consume resources, and I think our government again is engaging with the world when they're giving commitments for carbon emissions, carbon control. I think very good balance is being achieved. So I'm very hopeful. My view is when we look back in 24 months, we will see that India has done very well, and the remit now of the government is grow the industry, create employment, ensure there are enough taxes for social programs, and we'll all support all these programs as we go forward.
All right.